But Brenda's kind of done with Preach too, though. She just doing that shit just to piss off their situation,
No,
right?
I think it was a little bit of a get back to Preach. She didn't care about Sandra, it's whatever. But she knew that Sandra was his girl.
Right.
Which kind of weird when you think about it. It's like, if you knew
That's
that
what I'm
Sandra was
saying.
your girl, then why would you sleep with Preach?
Why would you even do it?
Why
Yeah.
would you give up the cookies?
Which lets you know that Brenda wasn't an angel neither. Wasn't no fucking angel.
Oh, see, I'm blowing my mind right
Yeah,
now.
that's what I'm saying.
The first time I thought about that.
Well,
It's like,
it's the main ingredient podcast. We're gonna blow every movie up. We're gonna expand everybody's
yeah,
mind.
it's gonna make you think about that, right? The only explanation I can come with that is that the woman's tendency of jealousy and revenge and get back kind of like came into play, I guess.
Women get revenge. It's different. It's deep. When they get it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a mental thing.
Yeah,
She made sure Sandra saw them.
yeah, she
kissing.
did.
Like that's a
She did.
whole thing up here at this point. It ain't just a rumor in school. You saw me kissing
Yeah.
your man type of situation. And she knows that will be embedded in Sandra's mind forever.
Forever. Not only that, but Preach is now ruined. It's like, okay, not only did you lose me,
Yeah.
but you lost your girl, and now you have it's gonna go around the school what you did.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So ain't no girl gonna want to fool with you.
For sure.
So that's what I saw in that scene and what that meant to Brenda and why she did what she did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Preach knew it. That's why he was like, damn, I lost both girls.
Yeah.
Like,
It hurt him.
bad.
Yeah.
It's like,
But it's his own doing. Like everything Preach was doing was self-serving.
yeah,
He wasn't doing nothing to help nobody but himself
yeah.
of what he wanted out of these women. So what happened to him is what normally happens to people who do that. You get burnt in the end. Like you gonna get burnt in the end. But the detectives show up at the school and they arrest Preach and Cochise
Cochise,
because of the robbery,
the car
theft.
Grand Theft Auto.
And later on, Rob and Stone get picked up. Now, this is what I'm gonna ask you. They got away. So how the fuck did they know that they robbed the How do they even know about this stuff?
Well,
You got to explain that to me, dude.
There aren't cameras, and I thought about it.
Cameras did not exist.
There aren't cameras, so cameras don't exist.
They ran into two random people in front of them that wouldn't have known them.
The only thing I could do, because they still had papers on the car still had plates, so they could track it back to what happened, where the car came from.
Okay.
Notice that they're not the original owners or whoever it was. Okay, so we could do that. They probably got fingerprints on the car itself, and traced them back to Robert and Stone because they weren't wearing gloves.
But it would only been Robert and Stone. It wouldn't have been Preach in.
However, what they didn't mention, they probably had witnesses that saw
See, and
them get into the car.
that's where I'm irritated as a filmmaker's like, just tell us those details.
Yeah.
That way that scene will make sense to me.
Right.
Because when I saw the detectives come and pick Cochise and Preach up, I'm like, come on, man, we saw them get away, man.
Yeah.
So if you're going to get them caught, tell us how they got caught.
Here's something else interesting. If there were witnesses on the scene, the only witnesses that we saw that knew that Cochise and Preach got in the car is Willie and Pooter.
Correct.
So are they snitches?
So if they partner snitched on them, could you tell us that? That's what happened? Like,
I don't think they would.
no,
I don't think they
know.
would.
I don't think they would. I don't think
There's
they
no
would.
reason for them to do that.
I don't think they would.
And
What-
Tyrone. I can't forget about Tyrone. Why are we forgetting about Tyrone?
Tyrone.
Tyrone was Dorothy's, and he was key to the party of them getting into the party
Correct.
too.
Yeah, Tyrone was smooth.
Tyrone was the real smooth one.
Yeah, he was
smoother than
smooth as fuck.
Cochise to
Yeah,
me.
He was smooth.
Yeah. Damn, I can't believe we talked all this time about this movie and didn't even talk about
Tyrone
Tyrone.
was smooth.
Yeah,
Tyrone
I
was
like
smooth.
Tyrone, actually.
If they would have
but-
showed somebody at Martha's who was low key hating or was just looking too hard at them getting in the car with Stone and Rob, and you can kind of tell maybe a close up on the person's face, like, oh, that person about to snitch. Then it would have made sense, like,
True.
that's how they would have
True.
found out. But we never found out how they knew. I feel like the fingerprint thing would have happened
Right,
for Rob and Stone,
right.
but not necessarily Cochise and Preach.
Well, the thing is even if they had their fingerprints, they're not in the system.
They're not even in the
They're
system.
not in the system. So I
And we
don't
talking about a
know.
1960 something system.
Yeah.
Like,
Where there ain't no computers. Everything
there's
is on
no computers.
paper.
It would take them 3 weeks to
Yeah.
go through all the fingerprints. That's what I'm saying. Like none of it. That's where the writing got kind of lazy. It's like y'all just gonna come pick them up at school. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and believe this.
Yeah.
Because it really does. It doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we'll ride with it.
We just
You
got to
know.
ride with the
Let's just
theory
ride
that
with
they
it.
just.
Let's see what they do with it.
Yeah, we got to ride with the theory that the detectives was that good that they just figured it out.
Which is funny because the cops was
They just figured it out.
bumbly, dude. They were
Yeah.
like,
And you can tell that back then, I guess they saw detectives literally look one way because the cops came in with the Dick Tracy hats and a long trench coat. It's like, I guess this is what they thought detectives were supposed to look
like back in the 60s.
Both cops with the trench coat, like straight Dick Tracy, Dick Tracy shit. But that's what they thought back then. Mr. Mason.
Oh, before we go into that, though,
Okay.
you want to talk about the police scene? The scene at the station where they're getting interrogated?
Talk about that.
I thought that was real funny because, and this is something that me and my wife, we were kind of talking about because she was asking the same question. She was like, why didn't they get together to get their story straight? Just in case. I said, because they didn't think they would get caught.
They never thought they'd get
They
caught.
never, so there's no reason to come together to put the story together.
As soon as they got to the police station, they broke them up.
They broke them up.
in
They put them
different-
all,
which you're
for-
supposed to do.
in
You're
different
supposed
rooms
to
and
do
say,
that,
okay,
yeah.
what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay, explain this.
Because you will get 4 different
And-
stories.
Yeah, and they did.
Totally different. The times was wrong.
Times was way off.
Everything
Matter of
off.
fact, Priest told 4 different stories on his own.
Sure did,
He was so nervous and scared. I know all he was thinking about was the belt.
Yeah.
That's all he was thinking about. He didn't
wanna
care
get
about
whooped.
nothing else but the belt. I thought that was really interesting how they did that that whole scene as far as like interrogating them and putting them in separate rooms and stuff like that, because a lot of that plays into what happens, towards the end as well too.
Yeah.
Here's the thing though. They never snitched.
They never snitched.
Nobody snitched.
Nobody said nothing about nothing.
No.
But
That's going into
I
your
think
thing, yeah.
I just feel like they should have just. I think a lot of this would have been cleared up had they just told us who snitched on them. If they'd have just said somebody at Martha's that was looking out the door saw it, or Sandra would have saw them and said, "I'm putting these niggas in jail. I'm snitching." That would have made perfect sense. That would have been a bow tie on that. Sandra snitched on y'all because Preach did this to her. She putting him in jail.
Yeah.
Like, then to me, it's like, okay, a woman scorned. It all makes sense at that point. But we get to the point to where I'm like, even right now, as we're talking about this, I'm like, why they just didn't detail who actually told? Because they did not show us this in the film.
Yeah.
We didn't physically see them run into anybody who could have ID'd them as them.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, like I said, the fingerprint part, that's what I
that's
got
real
out of
though.
it.
That could happen.
But
that would only go back to Stone and
or
Rod.
you still have the witnesses in Whiplash,
Yes.
but it's nighttime. So how are you going to identify?
It's nighttime, and they never even said what they could have done. But basically, like I was saying, what they could have done was when they crashed the car into the couple in front of them, the guy could have got out or the woman could have got him.